Do you ever spend any time thinking about what in the world is your purpose on this planet? This is Tad Fulford with Rise Up in Real Estate, and today I'm going to give you 4 ways to discover what your real purpose is where we live. So, life is an interesting thing, isn't it? It is a day-to-day grind, a step-by-step process of living the life that you've been given. But there's a question that you should be asking yourself, and that is, why am I here? Was all this by accident, or is it all by design? Ask yourself these questions. Get alone and do this, and then look at these 4 things to discover who you are and what your purpose should be while you're here on this planet. Number 1, take a long, hard look at your DNA. Who are you at the root of things? What is your nature? What are you gifted with? What things come naturally? What things do you love and what things do you hate? Do things like take a personality assessment. Find out the things that you've been gifted with. You were born a certain way and with certain strengths. Dig deep to find what those are as you're trying to discover your purpose. Ask your friends to do this if you have the courage. Ask 5 or 6 of your friends to send you the 2 words that describe you the most. Give them a couple of days to do it. Just ask maybe 5 of your closest friends to give you that analysis, and you'll be surprised when you get those. Start compiling this information as you push forward to finding out what your true purpose is here on this planet. Other than your DNA, the second thing you should look at as you're trying to figure out why am I here is what experiences have you had while you've been here? What things have you gone through? What kind of schooling did you have? What kind of household did you grow up in? Where did you live geographically? What have you done with your time? Have you traveled? Do you love to study? Are you a speaker? Are you a parent? Are you a child? Begin to evaluate the things that you've experienced. You go through things either just because they happen to you, or you go through things so that you can get through them and help someone else get through those same things. So have you been divorced? Have you lost a spouse? Have you lost a child? Have you been married a second time? Have you grown up living in a church environment? Have you played professional sports? These are all things that you need to analyze and start asking yourself, what have I been through and why did I go through it? So number 1, DNA. Number 2, what kind of experiences have you had as you're putting together what is my real purpose? The third thing that you need to ask yourself, and I think this is a really good one, is what is your superpower? And a lot of times when I ask people this on my Rise Up in Real Estate podcast, they look at me funny. They say, oh gosh, I'm glad you prepared me about this ahead of time, because I would never want to talk about myself and I would never want to try to discover what is my superpower. But I want you to take a few minutes to look into that for yourself. I want you to ask yourself the questions, what is it that I love to do? What is it that I feel like I've just been born to do? Like for me, I feel like my superpower is to inspire others. I love public speaking. I love one-on-one conversations where I can lift someone up. And I feel like that is part of my purpose. It's my superpower. It's what I'm energized by doing. The question that you need to ask yourself when you're trying to figure out your superpower is, what is it that when I'm doing it, I just feel most like me? Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be nervous. It doesn't mean that you're not going to feel pressure when you're performing this thing, but it means that when you're doing it, you know that this was your destiny. So what is your DNA? What have been your experiences? What is your superpower? And the fourth thing I want you to take a few minutes to think about, and this is why I always encourage to get alone in your favorite place with a journal and just write these things down, is what do you dream of? What is it that you feel like you want to accomplish while you're here? Dream a little bit. Don't be afraid. You might feel like you're so far along in your life that you're way past your dream. Like I used to have this fantasy that I would be an emergency room surgeon. Well, I'm 53 years old now. Is that ship sailed? Maybe. But if it was really my dream, could I still accomplish it? Of course I could. What is it that you dream about? I want you to imagine right now where you are, whether you're in the gym, whether you're at your home, whether you're sitting in your car, all the things that you are around, the car that you sit in, the airplane that you fly in, the treadmill that you run on, the light switch that you flip on, the telephone that you call on, the radio that you listen to. All these things, remember, were once someone's dream. Just imagine that. If they wouldn't have thought about what is it that I want to do, then those things might not have ever been accomplished. Everything that you take part in on a daily basis, everything that you experience, everything that you use was once just someone's dream, and they decided to go and do it, and we're all the beneficiaries. you should be the same. So when you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, why am I on this planet? What in the world am I doing here? Am I just going to go through the motions from now until the end of my time? I want you to ask yourself these 4 questions. I want you to dig in, get alone, maybe get with a close friend or a spouse or a loved one, and ask yourself, what is my DNA? What am I gifted at? What experiences have I had? What things have I gone through so that I can be more equipped to help a certain population? Number 3, you need to ask yourself, what is your superpower? What is it that you are just born to do and you know what that thing is? And finally, what do you dream of? What is it that you want to accomplish while you're on the planet? And as you start to evaluate these 4 areas, you will start to formulate the thing that you know that you were put here to do. And now here's the hard part. Here's the real challenging part. When you figure it out, you have an obligation to the rest of us to go and do that thing, because guess what? If you don't, it will remain undone, because you are unique and your purpose is only your purpose. Again, this is Tad Fulford with Rise Up in Real Estate, and I hope this video helps you rise up.